All communities deserve to live without fear, in peace, and also to be valued and dignity.
Ekisegeti ne Burundi bayoke bagende hamwe abo tutasimiri bayite badata n'abamama ko kuno ubwo byatureta hano.
Stop killing! Stop killing! Stop killing! Banyamulenge! Stop killing! We need justice! We need justice! We need justice! 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 Justice!
Who are suffering in silence in Congo. I don't think there's any community that deserves the kind of violence that is being done to our community in Congo. And all communities deserve to live without fear, in peace, and also to be valued and dignity.
Abanyamulenge bose bari hano twayija kudeta ko kuno. Abarundi bari mwitu tutasimiri babwatiri hakaya. Kubenge bamuyita abana bamuyita abamama bamuyita abadata, so twayija hano kudeta ko kuno. Ekisegeti ne Burundi bayoke bagende hamwe abo tutasimiri bayite badata n'abamama ko kuno ubwo byatureta hano. Iri muyuviri wija mutugwase mu abarundi bagende tutabasimiri hakaya tutanga sima batuyitire badata n'abana n'abarumuna bitu n'engombe zitu bakazimara turi ne kikogo kingi bwenene mututabare bayije muyije mututabare na kino kihugu citu kiri hano Amerika twakisimira bwenene. Amerika irinyija imutugwasiri bwija ko guno twangadeta ko kuno mutugwase iri mwe mugwiti imisi.
Ababyeyi ka baratemagurwa bazira ubusa, abana bakicirwa ba nyina bakicirwa base kandi ntaco bazira kubera uko basa, kubera uko Imana yabaremye. Turamagana ubwicanyi bukorerwa Abanyamulenge, turamagana ubwicanyi bwa rubozo bukorerwa ababyeyi bacu. Ababyeyi batemagurwa, bagatemagurwa amabere, bagatemagurwa amaguru kubera uko basa nuko bavutse. Turamagana, turabwira amahanga, please nations, have mercy on Banyamulenge. We need justice for Banyamulenge. For us, we are here alive, but there are people in the forest. They don't have milk. They don't have water. They don't have food. We need justice. Abantu kabarapfa bazira kubura imiti ibakiza. Turinginga Uburundi mutubabarire nitubashaka. Turamagana ubwicanyi bwanyu.
Munsi twaje kubera akababaro, twaje gukora imyigaragambyo tubwira amahanga gutabari wacu. Abarundi baraje nta kibanza bagira iwacu abarundi. Twaje kubwira amahanga ngo babwire abarundi bagende basubireyo. Baraje bazungurutsi wacu, ababyeyi ko barabyara ntibagira isabune, ntibagira umunyu, ntibagira aho batarabukirana hamwe. Turasaba amahanga, turasaba abantu bose batwumva, ibihugu byose bitwumva, guhera mu byo muri Afrika n'abazungu bose bumva akababaro dufite, basubiza abarundi wabo. Tshisekedi twebwe tuzorebana, turaba Kongomani twarahanganye kuva kera. Dukeneye abarundi ko bagenda bakava iwacu, turabirukanye bagende, amahanga yirukane abarundi. Ntitubakeneye mu gihugu cy'iwacu. Ababyeyi babeho nk'abandi bantu, ababyeyi ntibatarabuka, ababyeyi bari mu kubyara bakarya ibitagira umunyu ntibamese. Dukeneye ababyeyi bacu ko batarabuka nabo bakamera nk'abandi bantu. Natwe turi abantu nk'abandi, turi abakongomani nk'abandi. Twirukanye abarundi, baramenyereye kutwisha, baratwisha mu gatumba, none kandi bagiye kutwicira iwacu ruguru. Turabyanze, turabyamaganye kandi bizosubirwaho nibwo bigira kuriya igihe kizoshika. Uko niko twobwira amahanga.
The reason why I came here to protest. I came here to fight for my people. We're not getting basic rights, and that's not a good thing. Everybody is watching, but they're not doing anything. That's why I came here. And the message I have to the younger generation: protect and fight for your people. You know, even though you live in America, you still came from Africa. You need to know that.
Leta hano birikintu kiguma naho cyo kudete gambo higuru yabarira bakongomani birabitu turini kuguma ko batumala tonayijibwira buno butegesi bwa Amerika butugwase bushaze ingabo z'abarundera munde kajabo ubwire n'ikisegeti agenda imange atakizigenda ishurika abakazi bamwitu abasosi bamwitu bene witu boshi batakiri mu nyumba boshi bali mu kivuru boshi bali mu kishuka boshi yo munda bariri Mungu atugwase kabisa abantu boshi kuteta amoko gabiri gameka amoko goshi gameka yija ngukusema ngo kubenge uboko buguma naho bitari bija ngo Burundi atari parcelle mu abera mu nderuguru batari parcelle mu abera mu nderuguru ariko boshi bame bayija boshi bagahita bagendera mu nderuguru boshi ngabo zabo zoshi zira mu nderuguru tugwe tugabwira amahanga goshi gayije katubere hofi baje batudetere bayije babuze byo bwo tubagatukorera twahuna ubutegesi boshi Amerika sana Amerika itugwase nitu tushezi tukizigwejera turi mutula kabisa Mungu abagwase mwakora.
Turi hano kwamagana abarundi bari iwacu kubwicanye bazamuye ruguru kuri ubu ngubu abana ntibarimo biga ntibarimo bajya kandi n'ababyeyi bari mu kaga twari turi hano dutabaza amahanga twumve atabare mu Minembwe ntabwo ari Burundi turasaba ko ingabo z'i Burundi zisubira iwabo i Burundi ntabwo mu Minembwe ntabwo ari Burundi turasaba ko amahanga yabasha kutwumva agasubiza abarundi iwabo. Murakoze.
Turashaka kubwira amahanga twamagana ubwicanyi bukorerwa ubwoko bwacu imitima yacu irababaye kubw'ibintu biri kubera iwacu turamagana abarundi batahe basubira iwabo bareka abavyeyi bacu baduha amahoro abavyeyi babuze ico bajya babuze ico ikibavura kubera ubwicanyi buri gukorerwa iwacu so dukeneye ngo baduha amahoro ubwoko bwacu bubona amahoro abavyeyi bacu bagira amahoro bongere babeho mu mahoro rero turasaba amahanga n'abatwumva bose kugira ngo baduha amahoro batahe iwabo turamaganya ubwicanyi buri gukorerwa iwacu.
Nkatwe abasore nubwo tutabayeho cyane ariko akabaro kacu tugenda tukabona turabaye cyane dukeneye ubuvugizi amahanga isi yose ibibona igenda idufashe ireba akabaro abanyamurenge bafite dutangiriye ku bana nta miti bafite nta biryo ubuvugizi abanyamurenge tugerageza kuvuga ariko amahanga ntatwumve please twamaganye umuntu witwa umurundi leta ya Gisegeti iri kutubabaza iri kubabaza ubwoko iri kubabaza umunyamurenge ahari hose twinkunga yacu ni ingiyi tugomba kubigaragariza amahanga kugira ngo babibone bagerageze kudufasha bagerageze gufasha umunyamurenge ariko n'abari hariya bakomeze bihangane kuko bigiye kurangira.
Message twotanga twobwira abarundi nuko botaha bagasubira iwabo ndetse na leta ya Kongo ikareka kwica abaturage bayo tunasaba n'amahanga kugira ngo babashe kurenganura abanyamurenge baba barengana bazira uko basa.
Dusaba kwitabwaho bidasanzwe ntidusaba ibirenze turasaba ibisanzwe umuntu wese yagakwiye kubabona nk'ikiremwa muntu.
To read the urgent memorandum from Mahoro Peace Association to Honorable Mike Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Masad Boulos, the U.S. Senior Advisor for Africa and State Department in Washington, D.C., but also to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair, Senator Jim Risch from Idaho, the Ranking Member, Jean, but also the House Foreign Affairs Committee, the Congress, Brian Matt, but also the Ranking Member, Gregory Mick. This memo is from Mahoro Peace Association here in the U.S., and it was written on November 20th, 2025. The subject is escalating genocide in Minembwe, Eastern DRC, action needed from U.S. lawmakers. Excellencies, we write with utmost urgency to alert the international community to ongoing genocide against the Banyamulenge civilian population in the high and middle plateau of Fizi, Itombwe, and Uvira of South Kivu, that is in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since 2017, and with later acceleration throughout the 2024 and 2025, Banyamulenge villages has been subject to a deliberate campaign of unsettlement, starvation, forced displacement, but also systematic destruction orchestrated by a coalition that includes the units of the Burundian National Defense Force operating under the task force joint called TAFOX framework, a joint military force between the Congolese army and the Burundian army. The elements of the army force of the DRC, but also the genocidal FDLR, the Democratic Force of the Liberation of Rwanda rebels, and the government aligned Wazalendo militias, normally called the Mai Mai. More than 58 military positions now encircled Banyamulenge areas created a total siege. Civilians are prevented from accessing markets, healthcare, and humanitarian aid, such as food, medicine, and essential supply that are systematically blockade the community primary livelihood in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Homes and crops are burned. Drone strikes around our villages. The Congolese army and the Burundian army have repeatedly targeted civilian areas in November 2025 and even after the Doha ceasefire agreement. On 12 November 2025, a Burundian army spokesman confirmed that Burundian forces are besieging Minembwe openly, failing to distinguish between civilian and combatant, a grave violation of the international law. This act constitutes a war crime, which including starvation as a method of warfare and attack on civilians. It also constitutes a crime against humanity, which is written in some conventions, such as the Genocide Convention. But also this historical persecution of Banyamulenge, it's the same as what was done in Gatumba in 2004. There leaves no doubt that this community, our Banyamulenge community, is vulnerable to mass atrocities. So we as Mauro Peace Association urgently demand the following action. First, we demand the immediate and verifiable lifting of the total army siege and humanitarian blockage imposed by the Burundian army forces in collaboration, of course, with the Congolese force and also their allies militias on the Banyamulenge community in the high plateau of Uvira, Fizi, and Mwenga. We demand withdrawal of all Burundian military forces operating outside a transparency and regional mandate framework in Eastern DRC. We also demand a deployment of an independent international monitoring mission with unrestricted access to the high plateau to document violation and also protect civilians. We launched an independent international investigation into allegation of war crime against humanity, and also genocide. We also demand targeted sanctions against senior Burundian and Congolese military officers critically implicated in the siege and attacks of our people back home. We also demand a suspicion of all military cooperation and assistance with unity involved in the violences. The warning signs are unmistakable. Delay will be measurable in thousands of additional civilian lives lost. We remain available to provide details, evidence, victim and witnesses' testimonies, and coordinate to any mandate body. The Banyamulenge people demand justice and immediate protection under international law. This was signed by Douglas Kabunda, who is the president of Mauro Peace Association here in the United States of America. We demand justice, justice for our people, justice for Banyamulenge in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We demand the international community to take actions to tell the Burundian forces that are operating in the high mountain of Minembwe in our areas to make sure that they are not stopping the humanitarian aid to get to our people. We need food. Our people need food. Our people need access to health care, as any human being.
Thank you. Dear friend, fellow Missourian, Honorable Governor of Missouri, Mike Callum, Honorable Senator Josh Hawley, Senator Alec Schmidt, and the leader who shouldered the weight of shared humanity. Good afternoon. Thank you. I stand before you with heavy heart and a message I cannot remain silent about. The pain I carry is not mine alone. It is the burden of people who have suffered for decades, who have endured the worst humanitarian, and who still hope for the future free from the horror of massacre and the ethnic cleansing. I am one of the survivors of the 2004 Gatumba refugee camp massacre, and where hundreds of innocent lives were taken in a single wave of a brutal violence. The tragedy did not end with the gunfire. Its trauma continued to echo through the life of the survivor and all who carry the memory of this atrocity. The scars, both visible and unseen, remain a lasting reminder of the human cost of hatred. The perpetrator who set and orchestrated this crew remain powerful within the government of Burundi. And over the past 2 decades, the trauma has persisted. The name Agathon stands as a haunting reminder of that crew and ongoing fight for justice. For more than a decade, and still today, the Banyamulenge community in the high and the middle plateau of Fizi, Itombo, and Uvira in South Kivu, that is in Democratic Republic of Congo, have been living under relentless violence that echoes Gatumba massacre. The killing did not end, it evolved. It continued in new, coordinated, and devastated form, now unfolding under the shadow of our own government, the DRC, regime action and alliance. This is not a distant threat. It is an active, ongoing crisis demanding immediately attention and action before more lives are lost. Thousands of children are being deprived of milk, basic care. Mothers, fathers, and elders are being murdered. Men are being burned alive. Entire village have become battleground, river of blood replacing the stream of daily life. The governor of our own government of Democratic Republic of Congo, alongside Burundian forces and the Burundian government, has intensified military operation, deploying thousands of Burundian military into the region. Many of these forces are led by the individual accused of involved in the Gatumba massacre. And their mission aim at eliminating those identified as Banyamulenge. Essential human need, such as medication, bandage, simple things as baby milk, salt, sugar, are being stripped away. The most basic element of survival are being denied to the people already accustomed to the fear and displaced. I am calling on the leaders who present Missouri in Congress, the senators, the member of the House, and who serve in the government to intervene now. Specifically, please impose sanction to the government of Burundi and our own government, DRC. Use every avenue available: diplomacy, humanitarian support, international advocacy to stop the bloodshed to protect the civilian. You possess a platform to mobilize attention, resource, and the concrete policy action. A single phone call, a declaration, or a vote can alter trajectory of life and those who are in imminent danger. Banyamulenge life matter. Every child need milk. Every parent who fear for their family. Every elder who clings to hope. Those are obstruction. They are real people deserving safety, dignity, and justice. The path forward demands not only words, but sustained, principled action. It requires swift action, accountability, humanitarian relief, and a clear commitment to protect the vulnerable community from genocide, ethnic cleansing, and mass atrocity. I urge the following leaders: the Honorable Mr. Mark Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State; Honorable Mr. Masad Bullis, the U.S. Senior Advisor for African; Senator Foreign Relations Committee Chair Jim Rich; Ranking Member Jean Sheen; House Foreign Affairs Committee Brian Mast; and the Ranking Member Gregory Mitt; and the President of the United States, Donald Trump. All citizens of America to act with courage and compassion today. Do this for Banyamulenge community, for all affects family, and for the timeless principle that every life matters. May God grant you wisdom and the strength to do what's right. May your action save life, restore hope, and honor the memory of those who have already died. Banyamulenge needs justice. We'll continue to fight for our life, for our community, no matter what it takes, how long it takes, where it takes, who it takes to, until we are free from all evils from the Burundian government or anybody else. Thank you.
We need justice now.
À mon gouvernement, ça fait plus de 8 ans que nous mourons, nous, Banyamulenge, nous, Tutsi d'ici de Kivu. À ce moment précis, nos mamans, nos enfants, nos frères, nos parents périssent aujourd'hui dans des forêts. Pas parce qu'ils sont fautifs, mais au contraire, c'est parce que nous sommes Banyamulenge. Nous mourons parce que nous avons été créés de la sorte dont nous sommes. Alors, au gouvernement burundais, ils nous opposent toujours l'occasion de dire qu'ils ont signé des relations bilatérales avec le gouvernement congolais. À la personne du président burundais, si vous avez signé des accords bilatéraux avec le gouvernement congolais, c'est pas pour tuer les Banyamulenge. C'est pas pour tuer Banyamulenge, je répète encore une fois. Il y a Igatumba. Il n'y en aura pas Gatumba de chez nous. Il y a Igatumba, je répète encore, j'insiste. Il n'y en aura pas Gatumba chez nous. À la communauté internationale, oui, aujourd'hui vous êtes silencieux à ces meurtres, à ces génocides. Mais il y a un temps de la justice. Et la justice vous rattrapera. À la communauté des pays de l'Afrique de l'Est, ne restez pas silencieux. Nous avons vu ce que vous avez fait. Vous avez jugé bon de quitter au pays, car vous n'avez pas vu l'opportun le moment de faire cela. Aujourd'hui, maintenant, c'est au Banyamulenge, c'est au Sud Kivu. Ne restez pas silencieux. À la communauté des pays de l'Afrique australe, communément appelée la SADC, oui, nous vous avons vu. Vous n'avez pas pu protéger les Tutsis du Nord Kivu. Aujourd'hui, c'est le tour des Banyamulenge. Ne restez pas silencieux. Car l'histoire vous rattrapera aussi. Et l'histoire est en train d'être écrite. Il y a un moment de la justice. Et un jour, l'histoire vous posera la question à votre silence. Au gouvernement américain, je sais très bien, vous êtes un grand gouvernement, une puissance mondiale. Ne restez pas silencieux, ne restez pas silencieux aux innocents qui sont meurtris, aux jeunes mamans, aux enfants qui sont meurtris, non pas parce qu'ils ont commis une erreur, mais parce qu'ils ont été créés ou appelés Tutsi ou Banyamulenge. Aujourd'hui, c'est le grand moment de ne pas rester silencieux. À nos frères, partout au monde, soyons unis. Nous appelons à l'unité. Ne restez pas silencieux. Lèvons-nous et défendons les nôtres. Il est le moment, c'est le moment que tout le monde se lève, que nous puissions prononcer cette inaction de la communauté internationale, de notre propre gouvernement et des organisations internationales. Il y a même pas hier, nous avons reçu des rapports de l'OCHA qui montrent tous les indicateurs, que ce soit dans la santé, de l'éducation, comment le haut plateau et le moyen plateau du site Kivu, des enfants meurent chaque jour. Mais notre gouvernement reste silencieux. Et le gouvernement burundais s'implique dans cela, soit disant qu'il est venu protéger leurs frontières. Il n'y a pas la frontière à Minembwe. Leur frontière, c'est à Gatumba. Ils doivent rentrer chez eux. Ils doivent rentrer chez eux. C'est aujourd'hui, plus jamais encore une fois, le mort des innocents. Je vous remercie.
Let us continue to raise our voice to speak on behalf of our community who are facing existential threats, drones attacks and assault by the Congolese army, the Burundian National Force, and hundreds of militant groups who have devastated the community. Civilians are trapped, terrified, and cut off food and medical care and the basic needs. We will not stop until something happens, until the whole world understands what is going on in the DRC. There should not be peace agreement between countries, mineral deals with the international community and foreign countries, while the minority community is facing genocide. Minembwe is at 300 kilometers from Burundi. Burundi borders, Minembwe, Bijombo, Rurambo, Mikenke, Point Zero, Bibogobogo, all these are areas of DRC, not Burundi. Burundi national forces should go back to their home countries unconditionally. Let us close this event with a prayer. We know we are believers, all Banyamulenges are Christian. Pray for our community back home. Pray for this country that gave us a shelter. And then we believe God is in control.